And what happened to me, we were really powerful running the football, but the overlap players really started hurting me. So when I started putting the scheme together in my mind, I said, well, I got to have ways to control these guys right here, to control the edge of the defense and everything we do. So in our package, we can lead on him back on support. We can boss him. Okay? We can just stalk him. Okay? We can cab, which we learned today is when he's outside of the number 2 receiver, we can crack and wheel. We can control him with the screens, and I can just straight up crack him. I can run a double crack screen and take care of him. So I'm going to control that guy. And what I always go into the game thinking was, all right, who are their best players, and what I'm going to put their head on a spinner early and make this game plan revolve around beating the best players up in the beginning. Give them a lot of different presentations, but the same plays. How do I control an end? I can trap them and I can read them. Those are basically the 2 ways. And you can base block them, obviously, but that's not the control we're talking about. We're trying to give them different looks so we can trap or read. On the backside end, we can slip him, which we know is the fullback trap on the backside end, or we can read him, which is zone read pass or zone read run. And then when we get out here, how are we going to control the weak safety? Well, we can be pitch if we disconnect the quarterback and run. We're going to cruise him, which I'll teach you what cruise means. We can key screen him and we can comet screen him. So we're going to, when we get a great player, so here's what I'm saying. I'm not going to let a wildebeest end start squeezing and playing quarterback, playing the dive and playing the quarterback. So I'm going to do something to him early. I'll read him the first time, zone read, run. Then I'm going to throw a pass on him. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to whack him in the teeth with a slip. And then maybe we'll run a screen where I set and I cut him. So I'm going to change the tempo on the good players that they can't line up and just play hard and run to the football. So you have to have, when you game plan, how are you controlling the edge of the defense? And I think this is a really important part when we start to understand how to beat a defense and how to take the best player on their team out. I've got to have answers to take that guy. Again, I can't just say, oh, Jesus, Jack, you got to block that guy. That's not how it works. As a coach, we got to help our players. So when we control the outside with the overlap on runs, we really start to have big plays. Now by controlling the edge, when we run the inside zone, that guy can't overlap. And if he does, it's a 9-yard gain instead of a 3 or 4-yard gain. And not letting the safeties run down inside the box. So that's how we start the presentation of the whole controlling the edge of the defense. Now, what you'll see now that Noel has a running quarterback, I think some of the presentations will start to change. But what I want to do right now is I want to teach you about a cruise. Okay? And the first, now this is a run play. Do you guys have a running quarterback?
Yes, we do.
Oh, great, Coach. You'll love all this. To me, my background is this. I played in the wishbone offense in 1980, 45, 86. No huddle. Back then, wishbone. So I'm a big believer in A, running the football, B, option football, and C, not huddling. We didn't huddle back then. We won a national championship. So I had a long time. This it wasn't an epiphany. It was part of when we go through a process of learning. So here's what we learned in option football. The more I control the defense, and I want to tell you why this. I coached at Mississippi College, and he's a great coach. He makes the playoffs a lot of times. He's the throw the ball. Well, our quarterback got whacked early in the season. He's out. We play a true freshman. He says, what are we going to do? I said, Coach, we're going to do this. I was the offensive coordinator. He loved it. So we took a guy who's a pass guru, and now he runs this as part of his base package. So the first thing you got to know is we can't run option football, quarterback read option pitch, unless we have a cruise player. So if my back is here, and I'm diving on the inside zone, all right, I'm going to have somebody come and pitch. You with me on that? Okay, I can't run it unless I can cruise. I want to check play side backer to safety. And I'm going to show you how the film fits with that. Okay? Here's what his read is. If this guy nibbles inside, he comes flat out and gets in the alley for the safety, because the safety could be here too if it was too deep. All right? So he cruises, and it's a tempo down. It's about 3/4 speed, and I'll show it to you on film. It's going to be a great picture's worth a million words. But he is the cruise player, so I can run, and here's how we differentiate between Zorro and how do I know when it's, so I say Zorro key would be zone read pass. If I say Rhino, Leo, Now Rhino is zone read right, option left. So it's the same blocking rule. I just tagged it a different way to make it easy for the lineman. Hey, we're in option pitch mode, or we're in option throw mode. Okay, so that makes sense. So let me show you how this starts to affect what we do with formation. So our whole theory with Noel is change the presentation. Don't change the play, right? We have limited plays. We want to play fast. And if you watch Noel's thing with the ghost, I'm going to make him pull that up and we'll talk about option football. So how do I change the presentation? Well, the first thing we do is we go two backs. We go 2 by 1. Okay, which we call green. Okay, he could be down, he could be back. There's a lot of different ways. But so right now, I do not have a cruise player. Do you see that? So I don't want to run zone read option out the back door. I want to run Leo because I have a cruise dive option. Don't run option without a cruise because you're not as protected. It becomes a gimmick instead of a play you can hit a home run on. Don't run Rhino. Now, if I want to run Rhino, watch how I can do it. If I don't want the defense to eventually learn, I'm always running the option into the cruise, I could say Zorro F orbit. So it's a give, right, to me. I can go Zorro, and I'm going to fake the orbit. Okay? Or I could say, because now I'm just trying to give the football. My guy knows that, the quarterback, right? I could say Zorro, boss, Y orbit. I can give the illusion changing the presentation with the same blocking rule. I'm giving the football. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's look at how we change formations. How can I change presentations understanding the cruise? And let me tell you something. I used to go to clinics and I'm going to do this in the next clinic, just so you know, Carl. So if you want to stay with Noel, you can. But here's the thing. I used to go to clinics and I'd come out with a one piece here, and then I listened to a guy talk about option football, and I could relate it to going back to the wishbone. And you know the best part about clinics is they give you that three-quarter look and don't give you the whole thing over the edge. We're going to try to bring you over the edge by understanding how to run the quarterback and run the pitch option with it. Okay, so how can I change formations? And I'm going to put it up on, I think I made a thing when I was sitting in there. Okay. Now when the kids hear Rhino, because we teach it concepts, right, the beauty of that is they understand we better have a cruise, because we tell everybody, we tell the quarterback don't have a cruise. Can't have a cruise. So that was the third formation sheet. I want to change that sheet for a minute. Okay. We start with the top. Okay, we just go through formations. We start to play with it. What we teach is the first guy eligible opposite the zone is the orbit guy. If he's in the backfield, we don't motion him. If he's not in the backfield and he was a slot, he would come from the slot motion. How do we teach that motion? That guy comes into the tackle box. He aims for the backside shoulder of the quarterback. It keeps him pitch relationship. Okay? We want to snap the ball when he hits the tackle box. Now, here's the important part of this. So many people miss this on the zone read because they don't have an option background. I'm going to swing over here for 1 second. Okay, let's say I was going zone left, Zorro odd. Okay, and I get a disconnect. Okay, what is the path of the quarterback? This is one of the most important things you got to learn about zone read option. The path of the quarterback is the outside shoulder of the flat defender. See, a lot of people, you've seen them attack that end and make the pitch. That's crazy. We're going to get our quarterback whacked. We're trying to save hits on the quarterback. We've seen it where he presses and then he attacks the inside shoulder. I'm going to tell you why we attack the outside shoulder. It's simple to me. We never want to let that end because we will see a really good end. We're trying to read. We don't want to let him get up the field and then make the play on the quarterback too. We don't want to let him play the dive and the quarterback. So when I disconnect, the flatter I stay on that disconnect, I can clear the end. So the quarterback's path is outside shoulder, the flat defender. Okay, so that's how we start. Now what I wanted to show you is up on the screen is how do we control that edge? Okay, this is the beauty. This is just straight Rhino and Leo stuff we're talking about. We can be in what we call green, okay? And I got the first eligible receiver to the backside is here. I've got a cruise player. I'm ready to go. Everybody see that? Let's go to the next formation. Change the presentation. Go to the middle one, okay? I want to run to the left. Well, I don't have, and it could have been the Z or the Y. I have to bring somebody over to be the cruise player, and now I can go Rhino. And he cruises. All I did was slide the Y over, right? I want to go left. So I gave him one thing, I took it away, I made the motion, I got my cruise, I can go Zorro, even, with the Rhino. I just say Rhino because it tells me zone read with motion and option. I'd have to tag the motion there, right? Okay? So the next third play, change the presentation. Now, one of the formations you'll start to see Noel get into eventually, I hope, is making sure we call that black stacked to the left and brown would be stacked to the right. Okay? So watch how this changes the formation. What? All right? Look, I'm in. Could be the other way around. That's not, you know, us line guys, we don't give a shit who's on. One of them got to be on, one of them got to be off. That would be dual. All right? There's a 2x1 to the right. Black. I've got zone. I've got a cruise flare, don't I? So he can now cruise. And he can orbit. Change the presentation. Okay? Now, watch this. I start to do some of this stuff. I'll start staggering them. Well, the first thing I start messing with was, okay, I'm going to give the offset. Okay? Now, the only way I can get back here, it'd have to be a key. I'd have to go F quick, right? You guys, or, because I'm not going to start them up in a cheated position and bring them behind. That would look too funny. So now I can key them. Boom. Key 3, F quick, key 3. Or we'd say comet. You guys understand why we say comet car? I know we used to ask that in the spring. It's because we don't see, he does not see number 3. We don't want anybody to panic. 3's coming. So comet means 3's coming. It's a key 3, but he's not there. Okay? So now we start to change. Well, do I want to run out of that formation? If I'm going to give you multiple looks, do I want to run a key screen or do I want to run a read, Rhino Leo? And we start to get options just by changing the backfield, which I like. When I was at Mississippi College as the offensive coordinator, I never gave for 6 straight weeks I changed the backfield set. You got something you'd never seen. And I knew what I was doing. I was setting up, do I have a cruise player? So one week we came out like this. Okay? I can run Rhino, right? I can run Leo there. Right? Zone read left, cruise, option. Make sense? Okay? And now, here's what happens. We're going to get good at the techniques, but there's a scheme to it I'm trying to put in your head, and then I'm going to come back after I speak this next session. I'm going to go over all the line techniques with you. All right? And we'll ice that down, because the one confusing thing, if I'm a line guy, when I listen to Noel today, says, well, we re-identify the mic. Well, no shit. Thanks. I'm going to tell you how we counted up front. And Noel's like, as long as they're freaking, you got the mic, I don't care how you count. That's, you know, that's the beauty of Noel. Okay, I'm going to just give you the last one here. So we were just talking about the offset out of the backfield. We call it gray and gold. Gray at the bottom, gold at the top. Okay, I just presented it. I brought Z across, and I can run Rhino because I had a cruise, I had a dive, and I had a pitch. Okay, now when we're in the pistol look, we tell the tailback, hesitate, 1001. 1001, boom, and then I start my pitch. Because that buys us time for the ball, the read, and the disconnect. Okay? Now, here's the difference between this. When we called quick, we snapped the ball in here. You remember he snapped it before he got there? It's full motion across. It's a go motion. Okay, we're putting him in a cruise position. I would ideally like to snap the ball when he's 6 yards outside that tackle. That's the ideal position for me. Because he can settle, he can cruise, and he can get back. All right, in the next couple minutes, because I'm going to have to run to this next presentation, guys, is this. I just want to show you a couple cruises. right, this is the very first play, very first game. We had lost our quarterback. We put this kid in. He's a true freshman out of high school. And the reason I like showing some of this is it correlates to you guys. I was a high school coach for 6 years, and I went to 6 state championships and won 5 of them. And we don't always... What the hell is going on here? Why can't I get that back? Anybody know anything about huddle here? Okay, let me go back. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now I can't get it to stop. I have no idea why I was doing that. Okay, I'm going to try to stop it where we get a good look at it and talk about it. Boy, that is not letting me stop at all. Well, that might be part of the problem. Okay, see if we can get it going here. Okay, here we go. I've got a cruise player, so you can look at it right here. He's going to cruise. He's going to cruise inside and check the backer. Then he'll come back flat, and he's going to get flat. Now, if this guy makes this block, the first play we ever run and scores a touchdown. But it's always a process. We were teaching it and put it in on the run. He's my pitch. He's my dive. Okay? So watch how it goes. And then I'll show you later today how we changed the presentation with different formations against multiple teams. Hardin Simmons, Mary Hardin Baylor, we had them all rocked with this whole thing, concept we were doing. Did you see the cruise miss?
Yes.
If the cruise had gotten flat, once he realizes the backer steps inside, he goes flat. See how long he stayed on the cruise? He didn't have to stay that long. It's an instantaneous decision by the slot. There it is from the backside. Man, we had a chance to score a home run right there.
He didn't have much ride there either.
He saw the roll. And he's a freshman. He was learning as we went. We just knew he could run, so we taught him this thing. Boom. Now he's out. Touchdown. Puts pressure on the flat defender. When you add this, here's what happened in Mississippi College for me. When we put this in, we led the nation in sacks against. We gave it 6 for the whole year. We threw the ball 30-something times a game. And we gave it 6 sacks. Because they can't just tee off on you anymore. 3-3 stacks that want to bring it, this hammers it. Hammers it.
We struggle with the 3-3 stack right now.
Well, here's the answer, Coach. This is a big answer versus the 3-3. I'm going to show you. Let's get to Hardin Simmons, and I'm going to have to... All right, here's Hardin Simmons. Here's the 3-3 stack. Boom. Is Noel on his way, Coach?
That's right.
Okay.
If you get the 4 ride, you're
Yep.
going to lose it?
No, we'll never go outside.
No.
Ever. Because if he steps out, then I'm going to settle back. The backer's coming inside. And if I get the 4 we're going to step. They're going to play the game. Someone's coming in. If he crosses my face, I got him on my through block. Okay? You'll see the end zone copy of this. Boom. But you see how it spreads the perimeter and they can't tee off on you? So here's the end zone. Look at that. Now, it's a great job by the right tackle. He realizes his backer went out on his through block. He settles and turns on the backside end. Boom. Now, here's the key, and we're going to talk about this when I come back to you guys. This play sucks unless you move the A-gap player. Our nose guard's an A-gap player, and our backers are A-gap players. So watch the displacement of the nose and the backside backer. Watch this right here. We're told, move him out of the A-gap. We square up on the backer. We turned out. We could have gave that ball and been successful, like Noel says, right? But here's what we're doing. We're also stretching the defense, going sideline to sideline. So, hey, Noel's here. I'm going to run to the next play, next thing. I'll come back. We'll go over all the inside zone blocking with the techniques and all that stuff, okay? No, I got to go to that next room, man.